Lunchtime live stream, guys. Thanks for joining today. Okay, if you're on the text message and the text just came through, I had that set to send 30 minutes ago, so sorry about that. Text message, and it's clearly dated for, or clearly timestamped for 11:30, but yeah, that worked out well. It's in 30 minutes, and it came through at 12:02. Oh well, there we go. Now text messaging has been affected by freaking Galveston internet, I'm guessing. No, I'm kidding. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Lunchtime live stream, Ham Radio 2.0. And there we go. Appreciate everyone joining today. We're going to talk about it looks like there's a pretty good delay on YouTube. There it is. Okay, good. All right. Make sure everything's there. We're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the QSO Today Ham Expo, which is coming up not this weekend, but the following weekend. We will be doing a happy hour Friday night so like a week from this Friday, so like 9 days from now. I think that's the 10th or 11th, whatever that Friday is. We're going to do it at 9 p.m. Texas time. We usually do it at 8 p.m. Texas time, so it'll be 1 hour later than normal because they're opening up the expo at 8 p.m. And wanting everyone to start doing their or streams or whatever an hour later so that people can get in there and get used to the platform. Whatnot, they made some updates to the platform, and so they're asking everyone to start their streams at 9 p.m. So that's what we're going to do. So be watching the channel for that. I'll have a pre-planned link for that, like I always do, and that kind of thing. So we'll be good with that there. So hey guys, if the stream is bad, I turn the stream down to 720. I can't help it, man. It's the crappy internet out here in Galveston, and hopefully we'll just get through it. We'll see. Speaking of Galveston, we are going to be at Galveston Island State Park and invite everyone to come down and join us on Sunday around noon. So if you're in the area, Sunday around noon, come down to Island State Park. We'll be on the beach side. Right there is where we'll be in the stream, or at the park. The park is officially closed right now, but like on the beach side, they can't really close the beach because the beach is owned by the state. So you can drive over there. That's really kind of the edge. So we park off of the state park, and then we walk into the state park and just set up our antennas right there on the very edge. And we've done that several times. Nobody's ever said anything to us. I activated from there the other day. Made about 105 contacts, so it's working out pretty well there. So join us that weekend for that. So let's bring Charlie in here. Hey man, what's going on?
Hey, thank you for inviting me, Jason. Not just lunchtime, so hanging out here.
Yeah,
it was great to work you on sideband. What was it, yesterday? You were doing a park?
I think it was yesterday. Yeah. So I activated that same Galveston Island park. I activated it Monday and yesterday. Yesterday I was just sitting in the truck. Yeah. I had the IC7000 in the truck with a ham stick on top, and I just activated it from there. So that was easy. I made like 31 or 2 contacts, something like that, and it worked out okay. I was hoping to make more than that, but it's good for what it is.
Yeah, it's fun. I always looking for all the YouTube guys and try to chase them. It's hard out here out west because most of you guys are out east. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you go look at the map on the Hammers app that I was making contacts with yesterday, 90% of my contacts were all to the east, like Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and all those places. A few in New York, but there was a couple out west and 1 or 2 in Arizona, but not many. So obviously the propagation was pointed the other way.
Yeah.
But yeah. So good deal. All right. I've got a screenshot here. Share this tab instead. There we go. Let's pull that back. So this is what the Kumospace is going to look like in the QSO Today Ham Expo. So I'm going to turn this off so it's a little bit bigger. Right there. We can get that. So Brian asks, did they ever find the missing girl? Yes, they did. They find her later that night. So thanks for asking about that. But yeah, so this is what Kumospace looks like inside of the QSO Today Ham Expos. And this is our space. In fact, if I go back here, I can go back to the lobby. And this, like Amateur Radio Subject Lounge, ARDC, ARRL Labs, Begali, all of these are different spaces inside of the lounge. Just QSO Today. There's Ellicraft has one. You'll probably see more of these pop up. It's still being built right now. So YouTubers Bunch is down at the bottom because it's just done alphabetically. So we're under the Ys. So we go down here, and I'm going to move over there so I'm not playing that sound. So if you look at the kind of lightly shaded circle around me right there, so see, Bo figured it out. If you look at the lightly shaded circle around me, that is where your sound area is. So I can hear everything going on in this circle area here. So if I wanted to go over to Charlie's Lounge he's created over here for Summits on the Air, I'd go right there, and then I could play the video. And it may not. Yeah, there it is. There's Bo. So we can play the video. I'm going to have a customized video set up here and in the middle space there. But so you can so we've created this Summits on the Air lounge so that people can come in and talk about Summits on the Air and whatnot. If anyone wants to do a POTA spot, we can create a POTA spot too. I didn't do that because I won't be around the entire weekend. I mean, I guess I could create a POTA spot and just kind of let people hang out there who wanted to. But if someone wanted to did an adminning or kind of be in there to answer questions in that, we could do that as well. But Charlie, tell us about what your plan is for the Summits on the Air lounge. It's a great idea, and I'm glad you did it.
Yeah. So I figured there's going to be a lot of people participating in the QSO Today Ham Radio Expo, and so, but there's a lot of great presentations that out there for Summits on the Air interested people, and some that aren't even related to that topic. But I figure there's going to be people who are watching videos, and then there's going to be a point at which they're like, well, I'm looking at everything, and there's nothing that really interests me at this point. Why don't I go over and talk to some people? I have a few minutes still, so this is an opportunity to just drop in and talk to me, or one of my co-hosts from my live stream, either Dan or Brian. We're going to try to be in here as much as possible. But the thing is this space that we're looking at is open 24/7. Mm-hmm. And so I'm still working on putting together a schedule. Bo actually, I think, has volunteered to be in here as well. Okay. But I have a list right now of looks like about 10 people who I have on a schedule who will be in here to answer questions or just to meet. For example, Steve, WG0AT, everybody knows him. He's the guy that used to take the goats up on the mountain.
Oh, the goat. Yeah. Steve, the goat guy. Sure.
Yeah. He's going to be in here on Sunday at around noon to answer questions. Okay. And it's not just to find out more about Summits on the Air, but it's also to meet people and ask what their experiences are. And there's a lot of great stories to be shared. And so it's just kind of a social area. I want it to be casual and, just come and go as you want and just kind of hang out and visit people. So that's kind of the plan. I still need to reach out to a few people in Europe and in like New Zealand to get some of the other slots of 24/7 to kind of figured out. But yeah, there may not be anybody here, and there may be a whole bunch of people here. It's just kind of, I'm scheduling people whenever they're available. And in fact, maybe I'll take this opportunity to say, if you are an experienced or have some experience in Summits on the Air and would like to help out and get on the schedule, hop in here for 30 minutes, an hour at some point, reach out to me and I'll get you on the schedule. You can be here because I can't be here the whole time, right? I got stuff going on too. So, but we would like to have somebody in here to kind of field questions as much as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that's, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, when you come in here and you move over to see, all I got to do is click and it moves my little icon here around. So I can quote, sit in this seat right here. And then I can hear everybody else in this area talking. and then I can go back over here, and people can hang out on the couch over here, and I can move around. So Summits on the Air is one aspect of what's going on in here. But if we want to create other stuff, we can do that. But I think it's really cool to have an actual subject in here, or something a little bit more specific than just overall ham radio general. So having Summits on the Air Lounge is a really good thing to be in here. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Okay. So I put a gong in the middle of the room so that anybody can ring the gong anytime they want to. I mean, if that gets abused, I may have to take that down, but I think that's fun. So Shane just joined in there right now.
Is the piano still in the room up in the upper?
Yeah, the piano's still up there too. So you can go, let's see. I can go right up there. There we go. So you can go hang out at the piano bar for a little bit. And can you hear that, Charlie?
Yeah, I can hear it. Sure.
Okay. All right.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, as you walk away, it fades out and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of gets quieter there. So I don't know if that's coming through to the live stream or not. You guys let us know in the chat if you can hear that or not. But yeah, it's got a piano bar at the top left there. It's got videos you can play. You just click on the video. You can mute the video. You can stop the video it's just, most of the videos will be on a loop, so you can go in there and watch the presentation of the Summits on the Air video that Charlie put up, and I'll have a presentation there at the bottom when you first come in. That's where it'll pop up for you. So just to kind of talk about everything that's going on. Yeah, but it should be a fun time.
Be a great time. These are really customizable too. So hopefully we get some more topics and people that'll kind of take the lead on those. And then you just all you do is hop in here and grab the furniture you want, and it's just put up whatever you want. It's really very customized.
Right. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So it's going to be a good way to hang out and meet all weekend. Yeah. We're going home. We're in Galveston right now, so I'm going to go home that Friday. And the happy hour that night will be streaming from my regular ham shack, so my internet will be a lot better. And then I'll be in and out. I don't really have many plans that weekend, so I plan to be in and out quite a bit. I've the last time they did this, I was out of town, so I couldn't join. But the time before that, I was in there quite a bit, and it was cool to see some of the. I went and watched the Flex Radio presentation, and I think I watched a Parks on the Air presentation that someone else did, and maybe one or two other things. But it's a good. I mean, there's a lot of stuff happening in there. Callum DX Commander, he's given a presentation this time as well. So it'll be an antenna presentation he'll be doing. So there's a lot of other stuff happening in here besides just our lounge. But I wanted to focus on our lounge today because Charlie and I will be in here. A couple of the guys. I think Frank will be here. I think Kyle will be here. And if anybody wants to set up and run like another topic inside of ham radio, you want to talk about DMR, you want to talk about WinLink, you want to talk about POTA or something like that, we can set you up a space in here as well. He says it's an open bar.
Yeah,
that's good. But
yeah, those interested in portable radio, there's Julian, right? OH8STN. He's going to be presenting on off-grid ham radio lessons, so that'll be a good one.
Good. Yeah, you know what? I forgot that I had seen I'd seen his name in there. So good. That's probably one that I'll watch.
Yeah,
it's always something to be learned.
I think there's a lot of great topics. I kind of went through the topics so far. I think they're going to add some more still, maybe. But we've for SOTA guys, there's a couple of SOTA presentations. A couple on portable and one on specific to SOTA. I didn't see any on POTA this time. It'd be nice maybe next time. But I think generally, propagation, antennas, and Morse code are some topics that are more broad but specific. People who are doing SOTA would be interested in. But there's some good looks like some very interesting propagation presentations and some antenna presentations that I'm looking forward to seeing. And then for me personally, there's just like one in there that I'm like, oh, I want to go. It's like adjusting your mic, to make your mic work.
Right.
For me, I'm like, that'd be a good one for me. I don't know much about that, so.
Yeah. No, that's probably a good. Yeah, because you're mostly a CW guy, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably a good idea for mic adjustment and whatnot. In fact, I was using my Zygu X6100 the other day, and I got some people telling me that my mic gain was I was sounding overdriven, so I had to make some adjustments accordingly. And I never used that radio before. The radio is fairly new. I never used it on a POTA before. So
yeah, well, let me ask you a question about it, because
Uh-oh.
Look what I have right here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Let me see if
That's
I can
it
get it
right
over
there.
there. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So, how are you doing power then? Do you just use the internal power, or do you want to do external? Because I heard it does internal doesn't last very long.
I haven't tried it. Well, internal power, you're limited to 5 watts, and with an external power, it'll do 10. So just like the IC705. I have not used mine for any amount of time on the internal battery yet.
Yeah.
I plugged in my Bioenno to it. Is when I went out there. Actually, no, that I take that back. I plugged in the 24 amp hour gigaparts battery to it. I was out there. I've made 15 or 16 contacts, QRP 10 watts. And then I said, forget this. I'm going to plug in my amp. So I took my Zygu amp and plugged that in, and it was pushing between 80 and 90 watts most of the time. And I thought, okay, I'm going to get to 50 contacts. And I did that. And right about the time I got to 50 contacts, I guess the floodgates opened because it was just pile up the whole time. So I ended up with like 105. Yeah. The whole time I'm running the amp and the radio on the 24 amp hour battery. So I bring the battery back here and I set it on my table that evening. The next day I plugged it into my solar panel that I have outside on the beach house, on the deck of the beach house. And it was down to like 13.1 volts. Oh. So it barely hiccuped. I mean, you barely noticed the hour and a half of running with the amp and everything. So, yeah. So I thought that was pretty. I thought that was pretty good. But to answer your question, go ahead.
Yeah, I have the loaner from Radiodity. So
okay.
So I have that. I don't know how I'm going to do it because unless I use the cable that they gave me and solder around some Allen what do they call the
power poles?
Yeah, power poles.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll figure it out though.
Yeah, I just put power poles. I bought one early on, so Radiodity sent me. They offered to send me one, and I'm like, well, I'm just going to buy one. And from what I talked to, is that the same one that Josh had?
Yeah, Mike just K8MRD just sent it to me.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I knew he had it for a while. He didn't really care for it compared to his older Zygu stuff. But I'd be interested to see what you think about CW because that's something I definitely have not tried on it.
Yeah, well, that's what my plan is I'm in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to take it out. That's why I was talking about the external battery because I won't be able to operate a full, couple of activations on that internal battery. So I'm going to take it out and I'm going to just do nothing but CW for like a couple of hours and see what happens.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how that works. It works wonderfully well with the built-in sound card. You just plug it in the computer and do FT8. It works great. I did some FT. That was the first thing I did with mine. I was at my hunting lease. I got it around Thanksgiving, I think it was, maybe early December. I don't remember when it was. And I took it out to my hunting lease. I thought I'm just going to set up a wire, set up the Pac 10 infed half wave, plugged it into the computer. Did a couple of configuration adjustments to WSJTX. Just started calling CQ on 10. I was running. Well, I did some with 5 and 10 watts both. And it worked. I made a few contacts. I didn't spend a lot of time doing it. I just wanted to make sure it worked, and it did. And I thought that was fairly easy to do because that's the first Zygu radio with a built-in sound card where you don't have to have an interface in between it and the computer.
That's interesting. I might actually be able to make the FT8 off if I get on it.
Yeah. I don't know. Do they give you any extra points for QRP? I'm not even sure.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, just do QRP. Do 5 or 10 watt QRP with it and go for it.
I think I think just showing up is going to be shock enough.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably I made 5 or 6 contacts on the FT8 off last week, but I was still down at the bottom of the list, even though that most of my contacts were were DX. I was making 2 or 3 from Italy and Spain and everywhere. So my points kind of were on the rise, but I joined like an hour late. So I was still down at the bottom of the list. So
that's cool though. That DX is really popping up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Especially in the early morning and late evening. I seem to, on 40 meters, has been really hot lately.
Yeah. Did you get any on that Porta trip? On that last activation you did? Any DX?
So no, not on that one. Last week I went out to a wildlife management area down here, and I got Alaska, which is almost DX. And then I got Puerto Rico, which is also almost DX, and then I got Canada, and that was all from the ham stick on the truck.
Wow. Good.
But the last time we were in Galveston in January, we got the guy, the Charlie Uniform 3 station. I think it's Charlie Uniform 3 Bravo Lima, I think. He's in the Azores.
Right.
And he worked all of us last time we were down here. So, but that wasn't QRP. But we're running 100 watts that time. But you can definitely make DX from down here on the island. So which is impressive because we're basically at sea level.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. So that, but anyway, so we just wanted to basically take a minute here and show you guys what the Kumospace looked like. And I don't know, I guess it's open to the public now.
Yeah, it is.
I think, yeah. Okay. So if you go to kumospace.com/ham expo, that is the best way to get in there. And it doesn't really zoom out very far. But
if you go in there, make sure you either set up, when you set it up, make sure you use the same email address that you use for Expo if you're gonna do that, right?
Right. Yeah, that way you get access to everything you're supposed to have access to. But yeah, so down at the bottom left corner of it is the SOTA room, and I'm thinking about maybe making a POTA room over there on the right-hand side, but I don't know. We'll see. If anybody's interested in helping to admin that, let me know. But it should be a fun weekend.
For sure.
So, what else is going on, Charlie? I noticed that you've been doing a lot of SOTA lately because I keep seeing you on my ham alert. I get a ham alert on my watch for several of you guys when I see you out there, and you were out there yesterday, the day before, maybe something like that.
A couple of days ago. Yeah, I have the same thing it shows up on my watch too every time. like when you were out there, I'm like, oh, Jason's on or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. This last week was a pretty busy week for me. A week ago Monday, I did 3 summits with my wife. I already put a video out on that one. That was up in North Flagstaff. And that was really close. It was like 30s, and the wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. We're hiking up these volcanic cinder cones, and this is actually in the same area we're going to be going when we do our Grand Canyon tour. We're going to be dropping down into that same area to the Sunset Crater Volcanic National Monument. So, so I did that, and then then Friday I did another activation called Daisy Mountain. That was a really fun one. I had a couple of Japan stations on 5 watts on that one. So that was
really?
Yeah.
CW?
CW, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was a long hike, though. A 7-mile round trip.
Oh wow. Yeah, that is. Yeah.
And 1,500 feet elevation gain. That was a tough one, but it was all right. And so I thought, well, I have another day free. I'm just going to go sit in the park and do POTA. So the following day, on the Saturday, I did Lost Dutchman State Park. At the base of there, I was operating, and my wife was hiking up to this really tall mountain. It's called Flatiron. So she came stumbling in late after dark on that one. But so I had 3 activations last week. Actually, it was 4 or 5 really, right? 4 if you count the whole week. There were the 3, and then the 1, and then the park. Yeah. So real busy. Yep, having a good time with it.
What is there the spot we're going in July is, I know it's a POTA. Is it also a SOTA spot, or is there a SOTA spot nearby?
There is a SOTA spot nearby.
Okay.
Initially, we were going to stay in a SOTA spot, camp at the SOTA site, but I moved it over to the camping so we're in POTA, and it's a 15-20-minute drive to a drive up SOTA spot. So in reality, we could operate POTA, and then if we get tired, we can just drive, 20 minutes and then set up and still sit down and just chill and not have to hike a whole lot and do some SOTA. Yeah.
Good. Okay. Yeah. I've only got 2 SOTA activations in my logbook. In fact, I wonder, I can't remember if I ever submitted that log from that one we did in California. in Sierra Nevada.
Yeah,
I think I did. I think I did. Yeah. No.
They did at least 2, right? You did. There were 2 drivers. There was.
I think so. Yeah. The what was it? The gosh, I can't remember the name of it now.
The tower on top where Chuck forgot.
Yeah.
Or somebody.
See, that was inside the POTA spot as well. So I submitted a bunch of POTA logs that weekend, but yeah, I can't remember what it's called.
Me neither. I mean,
Big Mountain or something like that. I don't remember. But,
yeah, that would be a good name for it, right?
it was something similar to. It wasn't Big Mountain, but it was something similar to that.
Let me see if I can figure it out. I might be able to figure it out while we're talking here.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a summit spot. I'm pretty sure I submitted my logs for that.
Let's see.
So with summits on the air, do you have a time limit where you're supposed to submit logs? Because
no, you can
okay.
anytime really, right? It just doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's how it is with parks on the air. If you're going after like a an event they're doing, they actually do it. They stop counting the event logs after 2 weeks.
Oh, like the plaque events, right?
Right. Yeah, like the plaque events. In fact, that weekend will be at Grand Canyon is
Yep.
the plaque event for 2022.
Exactly. Yep.
So that'll be fun to do. But so the plaque event, yeah, they cut off the counting of logs after 2 weeks. But if you submit logs after that, you won't get counted for the plaque event, but you still get credit for the POTA activation and whatnot. So
Yeah,
I
that's
wasn't
cool.
sure how SOTA worked on that.
Yeah, no, it's well, we don't have really events like that, so
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just anytime. And then as there's a what is it, 6 weeks out for the spring? Get on your parks or out on the air, whatever it's called. Support your parks weekend.
Support your parks weekend. Yeah. So that's like April 16th.
Yeah.
And that's Easter weekend. So I have rented a pavilion at Ray Roberts State Park, which is where we were last July for the plaque event weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm inviting everyone in the North Texas area out that weekend as well. So yeah, that's April 16th and 17th. I probably won't operate on the 17th because it's Easter Sunday. I'll be doing some other stuff, but Saturday I'll be out there most of the day. So that'll be a fun day as well.
Well, for us, you know what? I've been trying to kind of organize Arizona a little bit more for parks on the air. We have some really good parks on the air activators, but we didn't have any way there was no real organization because there's just a handful. So I put up a Groups IO site, and recently I just said, hey, why don't we get together for this, support your parks weekend and do something together. And I think there's some interest. So that'll be fun. Will be the first time I'll be able to meet some of these guys.
Yeah, good. Well, I mean, I'd like to see that happen with, you guys in Arizona. I guess you've got like big rocks in the middle of the state, like at Shiprock and Flagstaff and all that. But you guys are kind of in the flatlands over there as well, just like I am.
Yeah, some parts. Yeah.
So I mean, there's summits in Texas, but they're not like going to Sierra Nevada or something like that. So
right. Right. The thing in Arizona is we don't have a whole lot of parks, and the parks we have, a lot of them are big. So it's not like you can do a lot of radar unless you're just staying within the same park. And, my closest park to me is 40 minutes away. And the next closest is like an hour away and in either direction. And it just goes on from there. They're just a long ways away from me anyway. So it's kind of tough to do them here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm. The closest one to my home QTH, I think, is about hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. Wow. And Johnny from Signal Search, he's activated that summit 2 or 3 times. And I emailed him. It's been a couple years ago now. It was right at the start of the pandemic. And I was like, dude, let's go out here and do this. He's like, yeah, let's do it. We never got together and did that. But he said it's basically a drive up, and you can go out there, and he said it's fairly easy to activate. And I'm like, I need to do that just to say I've done a summit in Texas. But there's a bunch out in kind of like mid to West Texas that have never been activated. But if you look at them, they're like on private property. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
well,
that's a bummer.
Yeah. It's just kind of weird how it designates what is and isn't a summit. But
yeah. So kind of what I was saying is that I'm kind of the opposite of you. You have parks that are pretty close, right?
Half hour. I mean, right when in Galveston, the Galveston Island State Park is about 8 minutes that way. But if I'm at home, the closest one I have is about a half hour.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So for me, there's peaks within, a few minutes of me and all over the place. But for a parks on the air activation, the closest one is like 40 minutes. And then from there, it's over an hour to any other additional ones I want to do. They're just spread out.
Yeah, they're way spread out. Yeah, they seem to be a lot. I mean, we were up in Long Island last April, and there was a park every other mile. It seems like they're just everywhere up there.
That's where you got to go to get POTA. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, but it's much more spread out here where you and I are. Oh, good. Okay, going through the chat here. Does Ham Alert do POTA spots yet? No, they don't specifically do POTA spots, but in Ham Alert, you can add someone's call sign. So if I want to add Charlie, I add November Juliet 7 Victor. And anytime he's doing anything and he's picked up by Reverse Beacon Network or PSK Reporter, whatever, it ham alerts me. And then it says after it, it'll say Reverse Beacon Network will say SOTA or POTA or something like that. So the POTA website itself doesn't do ham alerts, or ham alert doesn't pick up from them, however that works. But if you're following someone on a call sign and they get picked up by PSK Reporter or Reverse Beacon Network or some of those other ones, it will tell you what they're doing. Because I see guys on POTA I see Mike out there all the time. N8YO I don't think he has a job. I think all he does is POTA.
Yeah.
So yeah. But he's always I'm always getting ham alerts about him. And then I was getting ham alerts for the last few days about Charlie because he was out there doing SOTA stuff. So you can kind of get around the fact that the POTA website doesn't do it directly, but ham alert is good about picking up that stuff when you follow people's call signs.
Right. And so even if somebody spotted you on sideband, then it wouldn't even be a reverse beacon network. It'd still come through ham alert, right? It's because they spotted you on a cluster. So it comes through.
Yeah, if you get spotted on a cluster, that's true. So like VE7CC or DX Summit or PSK or one of these clusters or something like that. Yes. Yeah, someone spotted you over there, then absolutely. But if they just spot you on the POTA page, there's no direct link between ham alert and the POTA page as of yet, to my understanding. So
yeah, I didn't know about that part.
Yeah. But let's see. Yeah. So Shane says, I did 5 parks and it was an hour drive between them all. Well, we did 5.
Good.
Shane and I did 5 parks together and it took us about 12 hours. Well, 10 to 12 hours, something like that. And that was fun. But yeah, it's not something. It was the whole day. So, but it was a fun day though. So I didn't mind it. Didn't mind it that much.
Yeah,
so cool.
Yeah, that last I was like that one I did on Friday, that hike 7 miler. I left the house at 10 and I got home at 6:30 p.m. It was a long day.
Yeah. Well, that day that Shane and I did those 5, he picked me up at like 6:30 or 7 in the morning, something like that. And it was after dark before we got home.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were gone for 12 hours. Well, in fact, the first park we went to was closed for construction and we didn't know that. So we got out there and we're like, okay, we wanted to do 5 today. So we had to scrounge to find another one. It wasn't hard to find another one. We had to divert a little bit, but it wasn't a big deal. And then we stopped for lunch along the way and that kind of thing. So we took our time. We weren't in a big hurry, but it was definitely an all day event. So it was fun. I don't mind doing that. He wants to do that again somewhere around Lake Texoma. He thinks he can get 12 or 13 in a day.
Wow. That's some radar right there.
Yeah. You have to find parks that are close together to do that. But yeah, it's definitely a radar. So,
Jason, what do you think? You probably don't know for sure. There might be some metrics though. Do you know how many like people who watch you are like portable guys or just kind of like the QRP or portable stuff? There's probably no way to know, is there?
Not really. No.
Yeah.
I find a lot of guys coming in here asking me newbie questions, which means like they either are about to take a test or they just got licensed or something. And I love those kinds of questions. You guys don't let me think don't think that I'm talking bad about that. I had like, I don't know, 5 or 6 people come up to me at Handcation and say, hey, I got licensed because of you. And I love hearing that.
Oh,
I love hearing that.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean, the point of the whole YouTube series is to get people interested in ham radio. But no, I don't really have a metric for how many people are portable or anything like that. There are people who come by and say they do that kind of stuff, but I don't have a way to measure it really.
Yeah. Sounds like the overwhelming majority then probably are the new guys then, huh?
Yes. Yeah. Or at least they're the ones chatting and commenting. I'll put it that way. I mean, like, if I put up a video and it sits there for a week and it gets 4,000 views, I might have 100 comments on it. So I'm like, okay, well, 4,000 people watched the video, but only 100 commented. So who knows those other people that aren't commenting? I don't know what they're doing. I'm glad they're watching, but I don't know I don't know what kind of ham radio they're doing. So
right. Well, it's great. I mean, your channel is just amazing. I know I really enjoy your videos and what you do. And the thing about you and your channel that sometimes is a little different than others is how there's a few others like yours, but you really focus on helping others out, and you do that not only just to newbies, but even people who've been in a long time, and that's really appreciated. In fact, like the thing with the girl, right? It doesn't even have to be ham
Yeah.
radio. It's just a friend. She,
Yeah.
hey, let's help them out. You're a very giving person. I like it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the thing. I was like, I've got this platform that I can use my powers for good or evil, however it were. So, and I see enough evil on one of the websites we frequent that I won't mention. But yeah, so I try to use my powers for good as much as I can. So I just put
That's
it that
good.
way. But
Yeah, I'm sure most people know what you're talking about.
yeah. Yeah. So I am going to segue a little bit of a segue here. I'm going to go back and take another CW class here soon.
Okay.
I've been thinking about going back to the CW Academy, which I went to a couple of years ago. Right at the beginning of the pandemic, I was going through this. They do like an 8-week class. It's twice a week for 8 weeks. And they have a beginner's class and an intermediate class and an expert class. And they say it's not uncommon for the people to take the beginner's class more than one time. And I thought it was, it was very informative, done very well. I got to where I could send pretty well, not at like 15 or 20 words a minute. I could probably send it like, I don't know, 10 or 12 words a minute or something like that.
Yeah.
If I could spell correctly, but I couldn't copy worth a darn. That was my, which I guess that's kind of a common thing.
It's very common. Yeah.
Yeah. But I know that Mike, Josh is always pushing the Long Island CW Club. And I know that KMRD recently joined Long Island CW Club, and I've never done anything with them. So I was thinking about trying them out just for a different perspective. But what are your suggestions, Charlie?
Yeah, they're both great. The like you said, the CW Ops is a 6-week course, and if you get the right instructor, I've had I've had courses with them where there have been times where it's not really benefited me a lot. And it's really it depends on the person. But so what I mean by that is I had an instructor who every time you met, there's homework you have to do outside of class, and that's important. Yes. Very important. I had one instructor, for example, who every time we met said, okay, what did you copy? Tell me about it. And you knew going into the class that you should have done your homework, and just that little I mean, it wasn't really pressure too much, but it was just kind of a follow-up. And that helped me stay on track and do the homework. And I had another instructor who was like, you need to do the homework, but I'm never going to ask about it. We're just going to do exercises in here. I would say that was helpful, but not as helpful in progression. Right. You still can get that to practice and stuff like that. But if you're only practicing, sometimes I didn't do the homework. And so if you're only practicing, 30 minutes, it's not a week or maybe an hour a week. It's not as good. So when you go into the Long Island CW Club, you have to keep in mind that there are no class structures, and so they'll give you a homework, but they're not going to check up on you like they do in the CW Ops classes, but they to that level anyway. The great thing about CW Ops is if you are disciplined and you go to the classes, then you're not going to be in trouble or what am I trying to say? You won't have an incomplete if you don't show up for the class, because it's come and go, and you can just drop in at any point. You can start at any point and end at any point. And when you're done, and they do have a whole track that you can follow. So there's more to the CW, the Long Island CW Club's structure. They also have some additional things to help you in addition. So the CW Ops is just like basically 4 classes that you run through, and that's pretty much it. The beginning, intermediate, or beginning. What is it? There's 2 beginning ones, 2 levels of beginning, then the intermediate and the advanced. Okay. But for Long Island CW Club, you've got all these other tracks. There's a first, a second beginning, and an intermediate. But then you can segue and do a head copy class, or you can segue and do a forum talking about specialties, or somebody might want to present on keys. There's a lot more to learn there. I guess the downside of Long Island CW Club is you have to join the club, so there's a cost involved, whereas CW Ops there isn't. But anybody who ever asks me which one they should do, I always have to say it really depends on how you learn. Right. Because I didn't do either one. I just listened to recordings and used a computer program, and that's how I learned. So,
Mm.
so I know I didn't help you much, but
No, well, no, that's an honest answer at least. But I mean, what kind of recordings did you listen to?
there's a thing called, what did they call it? Quick Code. It was a computer program.
Okay.
And then I also used Kurt. I can't remember his call sign. I know him by the Morse Code Ninja. He offers a bunch
Oh
of different.
yes,
Yeah,
I've heard of him. I've
yeah,
never listened to anything he's done, I don't think, but I've seen his channel or his
yeah.
podcast or whatever it is.
Most of his
So
stuff is focuses on higher speed stuff. Well, intermediate to higher speed,
okay.
but he had some good stuff. But it was mostly Code Quick, and then a phone app. And that's what my wife right now is learning Morse code. She's actually almost there. I almost got convinced her to get on the air last time we were out, but she wasn't quite there. And she's just using a CW phone app. I think that Josh suggested it. It's called Morse Toad. I think on
Morse
his
Toad.
yes, I
Okay.
think on one of his streams he mentioned that, and my wife is using it and she loves it. It's great.
Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Yeah, I mean, I know there's a cost to Long Island CW Club. I don't really care much about that. I would pay for that.
Yeah,
I just want to be, but I do like the accountability thing that CW Ops had done, and that's, and I've heard
yeah.
that the classes are a lot less structured on Long Island. But everybody I know who's gone through a class on Long Island, they can't stop talking about it. They're
Yeah, I mean, and they
they
still
really like
follow
it.
up
So.
on Long Island, depending on the teacher or the instructor. They'll follow up with you, but it's a lot harder
Yeah,
to follow up because you have people coming in and out the whole time, and they're in different places and stuff. So it's a little different. I guess
yeah.
here's I'm thinking about it. I guess here's the advice I probably will give people in the future when they ask that question, and the advice is, you need to do the homework, and you need
Hmm.
to and the classes that you take are to help guide you, not to and to help keep you going in the right direction. But the core learning happens outside of the classrooms, and
Hmm.
so if you're disciplined enough, you don't need the classes. If you want some guidance, then and you want kind of a little less structure and not have to be so have so much accountability, Long Island.
Hmm.
If you like that more structured accountability to help you through, then I would say CW Ops.
Okay. Okay. Good. 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 Well, that makes sense. So I mean, it's probably, yeah, like you said a minute ago. There's everybody learns differently. There's different ways of learning, and some people like because I have free classes on my channel about that were recorded classroom sessions, and people sit down but they're hours long to get through them all. So, but some people like that. Some people really like that. In fact, those are some of my most popular videos, and other people like to download the apps and learn from the app, like Ham Study or Ham Radio Prep or something like that. So I don't really think there's a wrong way to learn it. I just to figure out the way that works best for you and your learning style and go do it. Just get
Yeah.
it done. So
That's a great analogy. In fact, I just saw that. So there's some people I know who are studying for the technician class license,
mhm.
and I try to tell people, just memorize the questions, get the test, and then the learning starts.
Right.
Right. But
Mhm.
there was a gentleman who's like, I can't do that. I need to know why. And so he bought a
Right.
book, and he said,
Mhm.
this book helped me so much more than just studying and so I'm like, okay, great. That's how you learn
Mhm.
then,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So he needs the why, and there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, so I don't know if surely Dan KB6NU. He's big CW
Yes.
guy.
Yes.
So he does at Dayton before Dayton got canceled for 2 years in a row. He would always do a 1-day technician class, and he would have people sign up, and I think it was free, but like you had to buy the material or pay for the test or something. But the class itself, I don't think cost anything. Anyway, he would sit down with probably a dozen people or so, and in one day get them through the technician class, test them, and they pass the test by the end of that one day. And his theory behind that was you don't really start learning until you get behind the radio. I
Yep.
mean, you can memorize all the stuff and just, oh, I know what the answer to that is because you know what that's great, but you're not going to learn how to tune up and down a VFO or how to actually tune an antenna or what a SWR you're looking for or how to move the antenna up and down to compensate for too long or too high, SWR, that kind of thing. You're not going to learn that until you get in front of a radio, and that's when the real learning starts. So just get your license, get that out of the way so you can begin learning. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, I can see a lot of truth to that theory. So that works for me. What's the best straight key to start with? I would say don't start with the straight key.
Well, now, so if you talk to somebody in Long Island CW Club,
yeah,
they would say absolutely start with a straight key, and CW Ops would say it doesn't matter, but probably a paddle. And the logic behind the straight key, starting with a straight key, is that when you're sending the dits and DAWs, you're actually muscle memory. Those dits and DAWs are making a stronger connection, and you learn better. Personally, I didn't use a straight key, and it's fine. I mean, I went without. So my philosophy is different than theirs, and I mean, I'm sorry. The way I believe is you learn with what you're going to use, and then you don't have to, because then you
right.
Just,
and I can send CQ, I can send my call sign and a few other things. And I just found that it was easier for me to send it via a dual paddle iambic, or even maybe a single paddle capacitive touch. But the iambic key was just easier for me to use. So,
yeah,
I mean,
me too.
but back when they had actual telegraph keys, and that was the only way to do it, that's what you had to learn. But
yep.
I just I like the iambic better myself. Somebody from Xenio, Ohio is calling me.
So I don't know who asked that question, but I just went through this process because I wanted to start participating in this the straight key century club or whatever it is. They do some activities where you have to have a straight key, and I wanted to kind of get some experience in straight key. So we just went through the process of finding a good straight key for myself, and straight keys are really expensive, I've learned. Ooh, wow.
Well, I tell you what, if you get a really good key, you're going to pay for it. I mean, you can't, I mean, you can get some of those 3D printed keys that are very small and lightweight that cost you next to nothing. But if you want a good desktop key to send code from your house, like a Bengali key or those N3ZN keys, have you ever seen those?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I wish they made one for portable ops, and I'd already bought it a while ago.
Yeah. So I talked to that guy at Hamcation, and he actually sent me one of his keys. He's like, because I told him, I said, yeah, man, I kind of set a goal for myself to learn CW this year. He's like, hey, if you're going to do video on it, I'll send you a key. I'm like, cool. Yeah. So he sent me one of his iambic keys, and it's very well made. He had a bunch of different designs there. And I'm like, he's like, which one do you want? I was like, you'd send me the one that you think would work best. And I think it was the smallest and lightest weight one he sent me, but it's still made for this. It's still heavy. What I would call it heavy.
Yeah.
But,
a couple comments here. Jeff Robinson got it correct. Yeah, it's SKCC, which is as the Straight Key Century Club. So thanks on there. And then 45 Auto. So the difference is when the iambic paddle, if you want to push like 3 dits, you just move your finger one time, and it dits until you let go, right? But with a straight key, you've got to go dit, 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 and so that's the concept of muscle memory. You learn the dits and DAWs because every single dit and DAW you're actually moving your hand for. So
right,
yeah.
It's a little bit more. The iambic does more work for you than the straight key does. So and it's going to be muscle memory either way. Yes, but
it is. Yeah,
but I mean, definitely. If you're having to type a dit, and I guess if you hold it in a straight key, you have to hold it down for a second or two to transmit a DAW.
Yes,
I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's something else to know the difference between a touch and a short press and a long press, as it were, on a DMR radio. So
that's right. That's right. So let me wrap that up real quick.
Yeah.
So my exploration, I ended up going with the what is it called? CW American Morris. Is that right? No, CW. I can't remember what it's called now. I spent $40 for it. CW Morris, it's called, I think. Let me look it up here real quick. It's just a straight key. I think it's called CW Morris. But yep, Morse code cwmorris.us. Yep, that's it. Was just I have it up here right now. It's just a regular Camelback key, and it's I spent like $40 for it. And for me, starting out, I'm like, that's going to be good. I've heard a lot of people like them. I'm not spending, $200-300 for it, and then I'm not gonna, and what if I end up not liking it? So it's blue in there, I think.
The double paddle
down a little bit further.
Okay.
See it right
Oh,
there.
that one.
Yeah, I think.
Camelback. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the one.
Yeah.
So that's what I
cool.
got. I have it right here. I've been playing with it, and it works great.
Good.
Of course, like you said, it's not as heavy and it's not as well made.
Right.
So, but this to start out with, I'm going to try it, and if I like it and I get good with it, and I want to get a better paddle, then yeah. But I may decide
Sure.
I don't want to ever do straight key again, and then I'm not. I'm not out that much.
You're not out that much. Okay. Yeah. That it looks almost 3D printed. Is it?
Yeah, I think there is some 3D printed
okay.
stuff. Yep.
Okay. I mean, at least the handle, the tap handle looks 3D printed. So
yep, the knob.
But yeah, the knob. Okay, the knob. Yeah, but I 3D printed stuff is great if you're going lightweight because it doesn't weigh anything. So if you're going out in the field, I imagine that's what you want.
Yeah,
so,
lightweight or inexpensive. They're both of those are.
Yeah, true. Good deal. Okay. Well, cool, man. This has been fun. Looking forward to the QSO Today Ham Expo. Like I said, I'll probably be around most of the weekend. We're definitely going to do the happy hour on Friday night. So we'll see how that goes. It's always a fun event. So I hope everyone can join us for that. Be watching the channel for links to that. And then I'll share during that, I'll share links to where you can get into if you go to kumospace.com/ham expo, you can see all the stuff that's out there right now. And you can go, but I don't think they've created all the booths yet. Like there's only about 6 or 8 different booths in there. I think there'll be close to 20 or 30 by the time it's all said and done. So,
are you keeping the name YouTubers Bunch as for your lobby?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good name.
That'll be, that'll be, cause I mean, in years past, it's been, Josh has been in there a couple times. Frank, Kyle, I think Callum was in there with this last time. I can't remember who all else was in there. I think Mike was in there. But it's kind of like an assortment of people in the group, in the YouTubers group that would be available. So because everybody's available at different times. So yeah, I just keep it there. That way it's kind of generic, I guess. I guess the best way to say it.
Yep.
But
sure.
Yeah, but I mean, if one of you guys wants to do, I mean, you already put your video up in there. So that's cool. I'm going to put my video in the center there. If somebody else from the group wants to put a video up in there, we can add another video in there as well. So it's it's going to be it's certainly open to everybody. So, but cool. Well, anything else, Charlie, before we close it out?
The only thing, let me just reiterate once again. Hey, if you guys, anybody who's watching this video now or later, you want to participate, you are experienced in Summits on the Air, and you want to get on that schedule and help us out, please just reach out to me. I'm good on QRZ. Just it's nj7v@arrl.net. So, or you can catch me on social media stuff, and then my channel's Red Summit RF, and that's all portable radio stuff. And there's places there you can reach out to me as well.
Definitely, yeah. Charlie's been on this stream 2 or 3 times. We talked about CW one time and talked about portable ops sometime. So I like the idea of portable ops. I like doing portable ops. I don't do it as much as he does. So it's always good to get another perspective on it. So,
thanks for having me on, Jason.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. Thanks for setting up the SOTA booth, and look forward to seeing what happens that weekend, and hopefully see you on the happy hour that night. We can talk about it some more there.
For sure. Yep.
Okay, guys. Thanks a lot, Charlie. We're going to shut it down, and we're going to shut it down. Hey, guys, guess what? I did an interview with the Polish ham radio operators that I mentioned on my Russian-Ukraine video I put up last week. So the Polish ham radio operators that are running the WinLink nodes and helping the Ukrainian refugees in the country of Poland, they commented on my video. And I'm like, hey, why don't you guys come on? So I interviewed them this morning. So I'm going to edit that video this afternoon and put that up on the channel. Very interesting information about the Russian invasion of Ukraine and the war that's going on over there right now, and how ham radio operators are helping out in that situation. So special thanks to those guys for being on. Y'all be watching for that video. So 73 to all. We'll be back tomorrow night for Thursday Night Ham Radio. And I'll be back Sunday with something, but I don't know, with this cruddy internet down here. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to do something. So 73 to everybody. And you guys have a good one today.